Hello all together on Andrew 3D Model Space YouTube channel, and I just recently published unboxing video for this really nice Sonic Saber, which I recently got, and now I would like to try it for my different projects, and first of all I would try it for my RL gantry project, so where you see a lot of small supports should be cut or just here. And here on the left side, this is set of usual tools I use for that. Okay, this cutter, this fine cutter from Tamiya, or I have it from Fala. Of course, scalpel, pincet of just some file or really fine file. And I hope so this tool will now not maybe completely replace all these multi-tools, but at least to the great extent. And of course, as I already mentioned in previous video, what I expect that it will make life much easier, especially when it's necessary to remove really support from really tiny parts without breaking them. So I installed now second camera so that I could switch to close-up view and show you how does it work. So let's put it aside. I will also put now a little bit more light here. Yeah, so just to make it better. And I'm switching now to the second camera and we can see how does it work. Yep, here it is. As you see, this is already assembled from these two sections and even painted masked, and it's really funny, really tiny structures, really breakable. So usually when I work in a classical way, what I should do, I'm going here and just need to cut with this cutter all these supports, and that's of course always tricky because when you cut it, it's a little bit moving and so on. So now we'll see how does it work with this Sonic Saber. And yeah, so let's see how it would be better to see on camera. Yeah, and so you push this button, it takes a couple of seconds, and what we now see, it goes really easily through that. So you almost even don't push anything. You simply almost touch it, and it's so, and of course it's very difficult to see that, and it's kind of almost nothing left. And what is important, I also could remove what is left. I could maybe cut away piece. Oops. Yeah, it's really, you almost don't push it, you only touch it, and it goes very smoothly. And as I said, so my always problem was that something is always left on a part, but with the Sonic Saber you can really make it really clean without, even if something left after you cut is away, it's kind of, you can really make it clear. And it's not really focusing good. Yeah, so that's, and my always problem, for example, was to remove this bottom support because these beams are very fragile. And also now, if I go with the scalpel, it really makes it, you see it almost doesn't move the structure itself, it just simply cuts away the support. And my always problem was with just normal cutter, then when I cut it like that, it's always, like you see, it's always move like a little bit move the whole structure up, and that could also break very easily. And now, yeah, so I could really easily remove the support without damaging the structure. So this, from that point of view, it's really, you see, for example, this heavier support, yeah, and it could be really nicely cut without any really putting force on the support, and most important on printed parts. Yeah, so it's like here you see it's again. Let's see. That's nice. That it should be nicely thin. Yeah, for example here, parts. Yeah, and what I do, I just simply push a button. That's here already. So all here. Yeah. Let me put it better in the focus. Yeah, I push the button, almost touch it, a little bit push, and it's cut. It's I would say this is really game changer, because it allows me to work with this really teeny parts without any damage, which was really big problem before. Or just some also remove some of these structures, which I also put to support. Yeah, for example here, I also could really do it really carefully, and what is important, I also could clean it after this with this blade, and it makes really nice. It's of course difficult, it's almost impossible to see here on camera, but you can see that it made really nice clean cut side, which is with scissors or scalpel or normal cutter is just almost impossible to make. Yeah, so that's why for this project, for this Earl Gantry project, that definitely will be a game changer, because that would allow me to work much more easier, and yeah, and most important, without putting too much damage, or almost maybe no damage at all, and very nicely clean whole sides of the structure. So what I could try now also to do, this is the model of Space Battleship Yamato. This is in a cartoon view. As you see, it's also a lot of tiny supports, and I will try now also to see how does it work for that. So I'm switching to yeah, so for example, I would like to remove this okay, maybe better like that. So this support from the structure here. Again, just push the button, wait a couple of seconds, and just okay, let me maybe put a better view. Yeah, and what I do is just simply, yeah, it makes sometimes some noise if you really touch now the surface, and you see it just removed without any problem, and it's cuts the main support also very easily. And what's important, if you could see it here, it's almost no side, or even when I do now, I could really nicely go and clean it. Yeah, so it made really nice cut side, really clean, meaning no remains of support left, and that's really make oats. For example, let's cut so this support here. Okay, let me maybe better view. Yeah, and let me do this again, and you will see how does it work. It's simply moving. Okay, just push the button. It's moving through the support like knife through the butter. Yeah, it's really, and you don't really need to push put really straighten it because it really makes it very, very nice. So, and again, you have pretty clear cut, and even if it's not really clean, you can also do it with this Sonic Saber and make it completely clean, which I would say even better than I could do this with when I go, for example, later send it with this fine file or just sandpaper. It's really, even if you touch it, it's really nice surface. So I think here it also gonna be very great help of this tool for my Yamata project. And I have multiple projects where I have really tiny parts. Yeah, or for example, another project I have with some of my customers. This is, I'm printing this for, you see, this is really tiny ships. It's in a scale 1 to 1250, and it has a lot of small tiny supports here. And for example, really to remove them safely from the model, I think it could be a really big challenge. And now, how does it, okay, could you, I mean, let me find better position. I will, okay, maybe something, I don't know, so because it's not, it doesn't really focus good. Yeah, you see, for example, here I have some supports going here. It's really tiny, but to go there, for example, with normal scissors or even scalpel could be a really big problem. And just with couple of touches, I could really not, I mean, I could without problem to remove this support. Or for example, some support here of upper deck. I mean, I also, yeah, for example, here, even with a normal, with this problem with a normal scalpel, you need to put a force. Yeah, and that could break whole structure because it's really fragile. And with this scalpel, you simply just touch it and it's solved. You don't put any force. Yeah, I could completely, for example, remove it from here. Yep. Yeah, so, and finish it. Or maybe even better to cut it something like that. Yeah, I still need to find best way to work with it because it's also my first really use of this tool. But at least so far, as I could see, it makes really big difference. Some seems to be here still. The advantage would be to have this button from both sides, but I mean, okay. Yep, and you see, and that's where I see also this tool will be game changer, especially for such really fragile structures. And of course, I have larger projects, and for example, this is going to be the model of like, yeah, so that's what I'm also doing. This is 1 to 100 scale, but this is the main caliber, main turret for also large cruiser from First World War, SMM Maxen, and that's what I model is the whole turret. It's also, you see, it's a lot of support. Here technically, of course, they're relatively large supports. It shouldn't be any big problem to cut it with a classical way, but nevertheless, so go for second camera again. Yeah, and you see it's a lot of the support. Of course, you can cut it with normal, just the normal classical way. Yeah, so just do it like that. And of course here this whole structure is pretty solid. It's no doubt that it will survive that. But at least with this Zauber, I could really hop, hop, hop. As I already did. Yeah. And as I said, important also what I could do there, then I could really nicely clean it. That's amazing, because maybe it's even more useful feature than simply cut, that you can really easily and nicely clean the cutting side, which otherwise it's with normal scalpel or files or sandpaper more difficult to do. So that's why I find it really, really cool. So like, for example, here, yeah, you see there are also the supports here, which what you like do is simply switch the knife, the rubber, and just almost cut it, touch it, and it's gone away. So it's, you don't put any let's say force on it. Of course, yeah, I still need to, because it also has relatively thick cable, which is a little bit restrict your movement. So you also need to get used to that. But that's really, really, I mean, it's really nice tool that will be really of great help for my, let's say, all my resin projects. So here is what I wanted to show you, how this nice tool, yeah, works. And so far I'm very, very happy with it. As I said, of course I need still to learn how better to use it, get used to it, but at least my first attempts, I'm very much satisfied with it. I'm completely happy that I finally got it, and it will help me a lot. So follow my next videos, and yeah, welcome to comment this video, ask your questions, and